Hello lovelies, welcome back to Sweet Adeshola. In today's tutorial, we'll be learning how to cut and sew this beautiful and simple shirt dress with side pockets. So if this is something you're interested in, keep on watching. So for the purpose of this tutorial, I'll be making use of 2.5 yards of this Ankara fabric. Now let's get right into the tutorial. Now the first thing to do is to fold your fabric. Now to know the width of your fabric, divide the largest part of your body by 4 and add 4 inches to it. Then you go ahead and mark your starting line. And on that starting line, you want to go ahead and mark your shoulder measurement. For me, I'm using 8 inches. Then you come down by 1 inch for your shoulder slope at that point exactly. Then go to the center of your fabric and mark your neck width, which is 3 inches for me and 1 inch for the neck depth. This is the back. This is the back. So now the next thing we're going to do is to connect from the neck to the shoulder slope, and after which I'm going to come down by 8 inches for my chest line, or you can as well call it the armhole depth. So I'm just going to mark my 8 inches like so, which is also my shoulder. I hope you understand, so that I can have a straight line and connect like that to my shoulder slant. And now the next thing you want to do is to divide your armhole line into 2. So for me it is 4. Then I will go in at that point by half of an inch. Then you're just going to come to your chest line and mark your round bust measurement divided by 4. So for me I have 10 inches, and then I'm just going to go ahead and add 3 inches to it for seam, for ease allowance, and for sewing allowance. I hope you understand that. Then you're going to connect from your shoulder slant to the half inch you came in by and down to your measurement you took on your chest line. Now the next thing for us is to mark out our vertical line. So I'll just go ahead from the starting line, mark your hip line, which is for me 24, and then to the length of your gown. So for me, I'll be making use of 38 inches here. Then I'll add 2 inches for it for folding or hemming allowance. So now the next thing we're going to do is to go ahead and extend those lines. You might be wondering that we didn't mark out the waistline. Yes, and that's because this dress is a very free dress. So but if you want yours to be a bit fitted at the waistline, just mark your waistline, input your waist measurement and add 3 inches to it. That's just basically it. Then come to your hip line and input your hip circumference divided by 4, whatever you get, put it there and add 3 inches to it. Then connect from your chest line to your hip line. I hope you can see what I'm doing right there. Just go ahead and connect it together, and after we are done connecting, the next thing we're just going to do is to connect from the hip down to the length of our gown. So for the length of the gown, I'm inputting what I have on my hip line over there into the length of the gown. I just want it to be the same measurement. And now once we are done with that, the next thing is for us to cut it out. So just go ahead and cut it the way I am doing right now. And while cutting, I made a very terrible mistake there. I cut on that the actual length of my dress, so I had to be, I had to measure it to be sure that it's going to be enough for me. So now after that is done, the next thing we're going to do is to cut out another piece of fabric on fold that is at least about 3 or 4 inches wider than that of the back piece. I hope you understand that. So just make sure that the fabric you are folding for the front is about 3 or 4 inches wider. So now at the center, go in by 2.5 and mark 2.5 like so. That's just going to be for the button and buttonhole. You understand? So just go ahead and mark 2.5 all the way down. So once you are done connecting the line together like that, the next thing you're just going to do is to place your back piece on it like so. And before, please make sure that you mark your starting line for the front piece so that you can have a starting point. Then place your back piece on it like that and come down from your starting line by 3 inches for the neck depth of your front piece. So just go ahead and connect it like that. I also use 3 inches as well for the neck width. So the next I'm just going to do is to cut out the neck for the front piece, and after I'm done cutting, I'm just going to go ahead and cut out using the back piece. I'm going to cut out the other parts of the fabric using the back piece. That's just basically it. And once we are done with that, the next thing you're going to do is to cut open the part that is going to be used for the buttonhole. And now once you're done with that, the next thing you want to do is to notch the 2.5 point like that. Go ahead and notch it, and after notching, the next thing is to fold in 1/2 inch. You know we have 2.5, fold in 1/2 inch, make sure you iron it, and then place the remaining 1 inch on the part where you notched. I think I'm making a sense there, so that you know we have 2.5 inch, 1/2 inch has gone in, so we have 2 inches left. Then you fold in 1 inch again, so that we have 1 inch, which is going to serve as the buttonhole part for both the two sides of the front piece. Now you can see what I'm trying to do right there. You can see. I hope you understand that part. Now the next thing to do is to cut out the fabric for the front pocket. You know we have the pocket at the front side like that, so I'd gone ahead to cut out my fabric for the pocket, and I also ironed it like so. So for the length I have 8.5, and for the width I have 7 like so. And please do not forget that I'd already taken 1/2 inch on both sides like so. So if you have to cut out your own, you'll be cutting out 8 inches, and for the length you'll be cutting about 10 inches, 1 inch for aiming at the upper part and 1/2 inch at the lower part. I hope you understand that. Now the next thing I'm going to do is to go to my starting line like that, to my shoulder, and come down by 18 inches. That is where I'm going to be placing my pocket. Then from that center I'm going to come in by 3 inches. I'm going to come in by 3 inches like so, and place my pocket at that exact point. Then you just go ahead and pin it down, and you also do the same for the second piece. And here's, I'd like to take a minute of your time to appreciate all our returning subscribers. Thank you very much. God bless you. And if this is your first time on this channel, kindly do well to click on subscribe button, like, comment and share. Thank you as you do so. God bless you. So once you're done pinning it down, the next thing you want to do is to go ahead and join it to your fabric. Go and sew it on your fabric. And after I was done sewing it, this is what I have. As you can see, this is what I have. Now the next thing I'm going to do is to join both the front and the back piece together at the shoulder. I'm going to go ahead and join it with 1/2 inch, and also I'm going to be joining the sides as well. And this is what I have after I was done joining both the front and the back piece together. You can see we have our pocket already. Now the next thing I'm going to do is to cut out the sleeve, our sleeve. To do this, just go ahead and mark and measure what you have on your armhole depth. And after measuring it, take a piece of fabric like so, unfold and mark your starting line. After marking out your starting line, ensure that what you have is enough for the length of your sleeve. For me, I'm making use of 12 inches. So from the starting line, I came down by 4 inches for my calf sleeve. Then go ahead and mark the total length of your sleeve, then add 2 inches to it for hemming allowance. Now after I was done with that, the next thing I did was I came to that bicep line and impute what I had on my armhole plus 1.5 inch for joining. I hope you get it. So then you make a line like that, and at that point divide it by 2, and whatever you have, make a dot and just do it like I am doing right now. Curve to the upper part and curve a little bit down. Then you come to the end of your sleeve and mark your sleeve like that. Then you just go ahead and cut out. So if you do not understand, I have a tutorial on how to cut out a sleeve. You can do well to check it out. Now after you are done cutting it out, the next thing is you want to join with what you have as your joining or sewing allowance. And after you're done joining it, the next thing you're just going to do is to fix it to your dress. So to fix it, just look at what I will be doing right now. Look at what I will do. At first I had to notch it like so. So just go ahead and notch the middle. That will help you to determine the midpoint of your sleeve, so that when you're placing it, it will sit properly on your shoulder line. I hope you get it. So now after I am done with that, the next thing I'm just going to do now is to cut out our collar. So now the next thing to do is to measure what you have on your neck. Measure it out like that. So for me, I have 21 inches, 21 and a half rather. So before I cut out my collar, I went ahead to determine the midpoint of my back neckline and make a notch right there. So to cut out your collar, get a piece of fabric that is the same length with what you have on your neckline and add 2 inches to it. And also ensure that it's about 4 inches wide, like so. So at that point, mark a point at 1.5 inch like that. That is going to serve as our collar stand. So I'm cutting it together, both the collar stand and the collar. And at that point, not at the middle, not at the center, this is at the side, come in by 1.5 inch like so, and then slant it to the edge like that, to the edge. Just slant it and just cuff it down a little bit to the end of that 1.5 inch. So I'm just going to cuff it a little bit, you will see, so that it can give us a shape for our collar stand. Now after we are done with that, come to the center and go up by 1/2 inch. You know that point is going to sit at the center of our neckline, the back neckline, so it has to have that curvy shape so that it can sit pretty well on that part. So just go ahead and cut it out after you are done. Now once you are done cutting it out, the next thing you want to do is to go ahead and iron an interface to it, maybe your collar stay. Iron a collar stay to one of it and fold the other part in like what I'm doing, then join the two together and fix it to your shirt. I'm sorry, I lost a clip, the clip where I was showing us where to sew our collar to our dress. But now that I'm done doing that, the next thing I want us to do is to fix our button. So just place your button like so and give it about 4 inches apart. Make sure that your button is about 4 inches apart, and then go ahead, make your buttonhole. And this is what I had after I was done fixing my button. This is what I had. You can see the color. I'm so sorry I couldn't show us the part, the clip where I was fixing my collar to the dress, but we might have to make a dress where we would show that soon. Thank you so much for sticking with us to this period. Bye, see you in another tutorial.